Water spout, y'all. Y'all, hope it don't rain.
The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again.
I'm just going up this water spout, y'all. Hope it don't rain. I'm an itsy bitsy spider. I'm also a good hider. Y'all ain't gonna find me.
The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again.
Just going up this,
Up the spout again.
just going up this.
Up the spout again.
Good morning, everybody. I'm back again, here to talk more about Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider. I'm joined once again by my co-host Chris Porrow.
Hello.
And Daryl Sibberley. I'm going to put you on the slide windows there. There they are. So there are two experts. We're still promoting the Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider Kickstarter. Thank you, everybody who's signed up and joined on. We're about 57% funded. We're in the middle of the thing. We're sort of rowing hard in the middle section here. I had been hoping to have my good friend Anneke come on this morning to talk to us about yoga and doing our stretches. But, you know, she's a busy young mom, and I don't think she never really quite committed to me, so I can't hold it. Can't hold her to it. But she might try and join us if she can, I'm hoping. Yes, I had various other people lined up. I had a doctor, but they can't be a doctor on there. And I had my friend Dr. Phil, who's not a medical doctor, but he couldn't be on till 10. Hopefully he's going to be with us on the 31st of March. So, so it's just Chris Dale and myself here to talk to you today about health. And all right, well, we were just...
Yeah, we know something about health. Come on.
I've had the tinnitus. Chris Porrow's had the tinnitus. We've all had the tinnitus. I've got it. My ears are ringing right now because I went out on Saturday, to see my neighbour's band. They were great. They weren't even like super loud, but there were like 3 bands on. My ears are really ringing today. And another friend of mine, he's had really bad tinnitus with his headphones on. So I think maybe my theory is it's because we've all been locked in and not seeing anybody or going out. So, my idea with this show was to sort of awaken, enliven, and energize us all. I could do my stretches. I thought maybe I'd do my stretches if Anneke doesn't show up, and you guys can commentate.
Your stretches? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Your stretches?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you want me to see my stretches?
I'm gonna make all kinds of stuff up during this.
Nice pajamas.
Well,
yeah, I like
these are
those.
my stretching pants. I don't really wear them. I also wear them when I go to the right parties.
They're pretty fashionable, actually, for like.
Oh yeah, they're good.
PJs.
I bought them.
Look Scottish.
I got them.
Yeah, they look Scottish, right?
Hip hoppy pant, but my friend was like telling me those are not hip hop.
So
Well,
is
they've
this
got
Highland
that
yoga?
stripe down the side.
All right. So what I'll normally do is I'll start here like this, very gentle. So I get my feet together. It's hard for me because I don't really have any calf muscles. So my calf muscles are very atrophied. But I'm always very stiff. I've had surgeries on my lower spine. So, I get arthritic spine. And if I don't exercise regularly, I get very sort of frozen up. So moving. So just these gentle like hip rotations is how I start off. I learned all these from a Tai Chi master. This is very gentle, and I circulate like one way and then the other way. I was told in like steps of 8 is good. So I don't know. Do you guys have any exercise routines?
Not currently. I used to do Tai Chi every day, but because of the pandemic, I couldn't attend the classes. So I have a bicycle, a Townie, which I highly recommend, which I pedal around the neighborhood, and I have an elliptical machine that is wonderful for hanging dirty laundry on.
Yes, well, that's what a lot of them get used for. I noticed they even, I saw one being advertised once, and they're saying it even conveniently folds up so you can store it under your bed. That's where it's going to spend most of its life.
Takes up little space when you're not using it, which will be most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a townie, Dale? Is that a type of bike?
Yes. Years ago, I was looking for a hybrid, something a cross between a street bike and a mountain bike. And I was at the off ramp, which is this, I don't know if it's still in business. I hope it is. It's this very old bicycle store in Santa Clara where I've bought bikes from being a kid up into being an adult. And I was looking at a brand of mountain bike, and then they had this weird looking bicycle called the Townie by Electra. And I tried it, and it's what's called a flat foot bicycle. And it's a frame design that is supposedly easier for people to use, and you're upright and you're not bent over. And I rode it, and it was eerie because it reminded me exactly of the Schwinn that I had when I was in elementary school. And my girlfriend and I both rode the Townie, and we immediately decided that was the bike we wanted. And we would ride that all around Sunnyvale, where we lived at the time. It's not good for hills. It's good for the flat. So if you're in a suburb and you just want to ride for fun, I highly recommend it. I ride it around the neighborhood now, and it's like I'm a kid again, because the sensory memory of riding a Schwinn with a banana seat, I feel that again with the Townie, and I really recommend them.
I had a Schwinn with a banana seat too. That was kind of my first bike. It's super stylish 70s bike. A glitter banana seat, and it was purple, and it was a girl's bike, but I don't think I cared, or nobody told me. And the, kind of the chopper handlebars.
Yes.
It's totally like, it was pretty much like a work of 70s fashion, not really a mechanical device. I don't know how efficient it was as a bike, but I loved it.
Yeah. Think of the Townie as an updated version of that. No banana seat. I would get one if Townie made one. And no sissy bars like that.
Sissy bars. Oh, you mean like the chopper bars?
Yeah, the chopper bars.
Like those things. Yeah.
But it's fun.
Right. What's this?
Yeah, this was fun.
See, there we go.
Chuck.
So I've got very flexible.
So Chuck did his warm up.
Over now.
And now he's doing. This is like a hamstring stretch or something.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I'm sort of stretching down, up and down. These are sort of like, those just like my little warm-ups. I mean, I don't know. I could go on. I don't know if I'm going to sit here and do all my legs.
That's what Chuck does before he draws. If he doesn't do that, the characters look angry. I think that's what you're trying to say.
It definitely helps to do your touching your toes every day. In fact, okay, so there's some very simple things you can do. Okay, so the number one thing that doctors have discovered, I mean, all these things I get from listening to Science Friday, they said that if you stand up once every 20 minutes, that like engages your big thigh muscles here, and that actually has a phenomenal benefit. If you just do nothing else, you just stand up once every 20 minutes while you're sitting at the computer, it will have enormous health benefits. So
it keeps away the thrombosis.
What's that? Yeah, yes, help.
Well, it keeps away.
It literally engages those muscles. It just pumps everything around your body. You got to think of yourself body like it's a moving, flowing system. It's sort of like full of all these sort of juices and fluids and squashy stuff. And if it's allowed to stagnate, in Chinese medicine again, everything's sort of root of stagnation. It sort of makes sense. If you think about a stagnant pond or anything, or like tooth decay, or clutter, you have a little bit and then more accumulates, so the movement is really, lets your body system move around, flush itself out, flush out all the problems. And
Yeah,
the
for your
trouble is
brain
when
too.
movement becomes difficult, then you tend to move less, and then that exacerbates the problem. But you do always seek help from a medical professional. Don't listen to me. I'm not a medical professional. I have no qualifications to practice medicine in the state of California, most certainly. Maybe in some countries, I would be able to.
I have the medical knowledge of a 12th century physician. I feel confident in prescribing leeches.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
leeches, I
Also,
think.
maggots are good too.
I mean, there are things they've discovered. Like some people have researched in old medical textbooks now and found like an antibiotic we totally don't use anymore that was very effective. So
And
there's certain things the ancient used, and the Chinese medicine also was like, but that was an empirical system. So it was sort of trial by error. So and so ate this mushroom, they died. So and so ate the other mushroom, and they got better. And acupuncture as well. Like, oh, somebody got stabbed by an arrow, but it cured this condition. So that was the roots of that.
wait, is that your origin story for acupuncture?
That is the
An
origin
arrow
story
hits
of
an,
acupuncture. It was
an
the people
arrow
that
hits
get
somebody,
shot with
and they're like,
arrows.
"Hey, he's better."
Yeah, some things will get better. Apparently, that's the story. But again, it's very empirical, right? But it's been 5,000 years of empirical. But not with like Western scientific medicine. And okay, now Chris is going to get excited now because as we all know, Western scientific medicine is all about trying to sell you a pill. It's very easy for them to tell you go see a surgeon. They want to do surgery. And the system wants to sell you a pill because that's by far the cheapest thing. They get you on a pill that you'll have to take every day for the rest of your life, and every single one of those pills, yeah. Well, so you have to think about it because those pills do have side effects. But yes, it's all complicated and it's all down to sort of personal choice. But I do, you have to at some point. I realized I reached the end of Western medicine with spina bifida. I'd had one surgery. I had two surgeries. And the second one, I was sort of kind of considerably worse after the second surgery, although that was to be expected. But then long term, I wasn't supposed to get worse. I guess I have been reasonably stable since that second surgery. But, they started proposing me something very experimental at UCSF. And they said, oh, I saw the top neurosurgeon there. He was quite a young guy. He says, well, we're a teaching hospital. And I wouldn't even offer you this surgery if I didn't think you were a sort of smart enough person to make up your own mind about whether you want to do it. But, we want to... they've done it at Johns Hopkins and we want to try it here. So I looked into it and I spoke to my previous surgeon. And my previous surgeon says, oh, that guy's a clown. I'm like, okay, you just called, the chief neurosurgeon at UCSF a clown. Then that was my clue. And I spoke to some other doctors and they also advised against it. But, so I didn't do it. But, I just thought, well, I'm probably at the end of what's to be offered. So then I started looking into Chinese medicine, which has, it's a more expensive system, right? Because you've got somebody who's dealing with you. But yes, it's all about activating the sort of mind-body aspect of medicine as well, right? There's a magical, they have more magical components as well as the sort of practical. Same with like feng shui and these other things. There's a magical and a practical component. But the magical is about your belief, which in the Western system we sort of acknowledge as the placebo effect. Some people will get better no matter what. Some people get sicker no matter what. Some people think they're taking a pill, they get better more than even if they're told it's a placebo. Even if they say, I'm your doctor, I'm giving you, this is just a sugar pill, but here, take it. Those people will get better than the people that didn't get a pill. Because it activates, there's something to do with your belief system that we haven't fully studied in Western medicine yet. Because we work more on the other aspect. We work on the large number sort of scale, with a large number of atoms, well, they make a solid table. We can see that. But if you look at any individual atom, you're not quite sure if it's part of the table or not.
It's funny. I was thinking about placebo effect yesterday, and I thought I'm the worst person for the placebo effect because I start off with the assumption it's not going to work because that's my experience in life. So I'm like, I start off with like, overwhelmingly, this will not work. Instead of on the other side where I think a lot of people start where this will work. My doctor believes in it. These other people believe in it. I start off with like, nope, it's not going to work. And if I have experienced placebo effect, which I probably have a few times, it's usually pretty short lived. It's usually like temporary. And then in a few weeks or a few months, I'm like back to a baseline.
Yes.
I was just thinking like they don't want to try to prove that with a group of me. I mean, they wouldn't get a group of me because it'd be randomized.
No.
But if they did, they'd be like, well, maybe the placebo effect doesn't exist.
Well, there are a couple of important, factors sort of in this as well. First of all, okay, they've shown that if the doctor believes he can heal you, he's much better at healing you. And secondly, if I think, it's also if you find a healer that you can trust. Like I found acupuncture. I found a guy, Joseph Chang. I went to him for years and years, and I learned an awful lot about just health in general. I think, and it's not. Western medicine wants to treat us like a machine, but there is a sort of responsibility factor, and there is a belief factor. So yes, if you believe nothing can help you, then it will be a lot harder for things to help you. Finding someone you believe can help you, that's part of it.
Well, yeah, I was more optimistic at the beginning because I had less data points, and as the data points accumulated, I got more and more pessimistic. But I am
Yes.
looking into traditional Chinese medicine and the traditional Indian medicine, which I'm not going to butcher that name, but people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
assume.
believe it. Ayurvedic, and I
Yes.
believe that my acupuncturist
Yeah.
would say that they share the same roots. And that there is even acupuncture sort of deep inside Ayurvedic medicine, but it's not a very commonly practiced thing. But yeah, they share the same roots.
I actually just had acupuncture when I was in Austin, because just by chance my friend was like had dated an acupuncturist.
Oh yeah,
Whatever they're called.
Okay, how did that go?
Well, I've had acupuncture before. It kind of goes like this. I like it. I don't find it painful. I find it relaxing. I usually feel good afterwards because, you're laying on a table, totally relaxing, talking to somebody that you like. So, of
Yeah.
course, I feel like you'll feel better. What happened in San Francisco is it's not covered by most insurance plans, including mine. And if you go to like a good person, I was going to this person in Japan that I think, Japantown, who I thought was really, pretty good. And you go every week, that starts adding up real quick. Or if you go twice
I
a
was
week,
spending a lot of money on those treatments, but I guess I had a condition that I really had to deal with, and it did help me a lot. But yes, it was expensive, and he gave me a good deal. He gave me a good deal because he knew I was going to come in regularly, and like all doctors, he was very fascinated to have a poke at me and find out what's really going on here.
But I did it. It started adding up like crazy, like more than anything else did for me, because most things are covered. And I did it for a few months, and I enjoyed it, but nothing was changing. With it, for me, it used to be like a lot of pain, like almost a carpal tunnel type of thing, nerve pain and stuff like that.
Well, I got it right now in my hand from all these text messages I'm sending everybody, trying to book guests for this show, and thank people for backing my Kickstarter for Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider. Just bring it back to that. We need more backers. Like, once this thing gets funded, I can stop sending out messages to everybody. But we're not there yet. We need you.
And spend more time stretching.
Yeah, my hands.
And looking at Chinese herbs.
There's sort of heat and cold is another thing I learned a little bit about. That's a big part of Chinese medicine, like heat. So if you injure yourself, like actually what they will do is they'll sort of soak a bandage in alcohol and then sort of wrap it up in saran wrap, like you injure yourself in martial arts, which provides like a lot of heat. And if you like sort of the opposite of icing, really, it's very interesting because heat softens the tissues and it causes swelling. Normal like icing does the opposite. It sort of reduces the swelling, but it sort of makes things a little more brittle. So both of them are sort of like you're at risk of injury when you do it. And they both sort of help in different ways. So the icing is better, like it freezes you and, you might be able to use it again more quickly, but, it would probably take longer to heal. Whereas the heating it, like make it swell up, but then it's very, very sort of delicate. It's very delicate when you do that. So then you need to be careful with it. So, but you have to think about both of them. Too quickly, I think people go just only for the ice, but actually the heat. And actually, I think I heard some research saying that they've decided that it's a combination of heat and ice actually probably works the best. So heat it a bit, let it swell up, then cool it down, and you heat it, and then these things will help. But yeah, I found it like with Sam when he injured himself, my son when he's smaller. I tried these sort of methods and they seem to work very, very quickly. Or a hot bath. If you fall over in the day, like getting older, like I fall over like maybe once a week or something like that, but having a hot bath can really sort of counteract the effects of that. Sleep is now the number one determines the number one cause of Alzheimer's, a lifetime lack of sleep. So you get your 8 hours in if you can.
Really? That's what they're saying about Alzheimer's now, that people that get poor sleep for 20 years get.
Yeah.
This is like accumulation over years and years and years. And then
Yes.
when you're 70 or 80 or 90, that's when you start seeing the bad effects of poor sleep.
Yes, that's when you start seeing the effects, and it's kind of too late to do anything about it. But it's not, well, it's still not too late to get a good night's sleep.
Sleep hygiene is important. The problem is we have these electronic devices, and they're keeping people up later and later.
You mean like
Yes.
you get on your phone before you go to sleep and you get some UV, or it's not UV, but you get some kind of bluish light.
Blue light. So
Yeah.
it's helpful if you know how to turn the blue light filter on your phone and your tablet and all that stuff, because the
Yes.
light matters. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy it, but I have color changing LED light bulbs, and for different things, I'll change the light color, and that will affect my mood and productivity.
Yeah, that's a
There's
great idea. I love that idea, Dale. Yes, I think like colorful lights or something. I don't know much about, but yes, I think your mood is sort of very affected by your environment. I know I'm naturally not a sort of super tidy person. My wife, on the other hand, very tidy. But again, I think there's a sort of benefit to having a tidy environment. I've learned. I studied under. Not I studied under, but I read. I read the Marie Kondo book of Japanese tidying up, and that helped me a lot.
right, the
Yeah,
art
I'm
of.
sort of evangelist about that, but that helped me a lot. And anyone who says like, "Oh, if you threw out all your stuff, you were regretting it in the pandemic," that was bullshit. I actually had, I knew exactly what things I wanted to get on with in the pandemic because I'd already done my tidying up. I had some canvases I'd not thrown out because I knew I was going to do them. So
What's the title of that book?
It's called. Her name is Marie or Marie Kondo,
Yeah.
and the magic.
It seems everybody read it.
The life-changing magic of tidying up, or something.
Yeah, Dale, you read it too?
Did you find it helpful?
It seems like everybody read it over like a 2-year period. It was just all
Well, I
over the
can't
place.
find it in the clutter now.
Yeah.
Ha.
She said you should get rid of the book once you read it. She said, like, once you read this book, you can get rid of it.
Did she?
Yeah.
And buy another one?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, she said if you really like something, it's cheaper to buy that one thing back than to hoard everything. Because the hoarding takes up space. It occupies space in your property. It occupies space in your mind as well.
Yeah, so that
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris, go on.
well, I was, when you were saying it takes up space in your mind, to me, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like something like an insect or something nipping at you, because when you have to manage all this stuff mentally, it for sure takes up mental space. So when I simplify things, I always feel a sense of relief. And I actually tried to do a major, what's it called? A minimalism thing. When I moved back here in this studio, which is only like 420 feet, so it's kind of like tiny house living. And my goal was to get rid of 50% of my stuff, and I didn't have a lot to begin with. But that felt good to my mind.
Oh, yeah, here we go. The life-changing magic of tidying up, Tina tells us. Thank you, Tina. Thanks for watching.
Oh.
Tina's been our most loyal viewer. Thank you, dear. So great to see you. And she's saying hi to Vivian there. That's a cousin from Canada. So hello, Vivian. Nice that you can join us.
Clutter's a problem for some people. And I think that in the past, it wasn't so much of a problem when people could afford larger places and they didn't have the money to buy so many things. But I know a lot of people I've had to help with clutter. And it happens. And as you get more and more stuff, you can get something called clutter blindness, where you don't see the stuff.
That's what happens on hoarders, isn't it? They don't see it.
Yeah, and it will drain your energy. And it's difficult sometimes to get rid of things. Like
it's a fear of letting go.
It is, because you have memories associated with it. You have uncompleted goals associated with that stuff. Um, you fear that if you throw something away, that you won't remember the event that's associated with it. You are afraid that you are admitting to yourself that the goal that you were trying to reach, you've abandoned, and it's an admission of failure. Getting rid of stuff can be very difficult for some people. And,
yes, I mean, a lot of that's what a lot of Marie Kondo's book is about, is sort of learning to get rid of stuff. You sort of say, thank you for being in my life.
Yeah.
And she goes by categories. And then the most important category is sort of mementos. She says that goes to the end. So if it's like, oh, this is a memento, you don't have to think about that one now. You put that in mementos pile for the end. And she's got a sort of specific system. She starts with clothes, because clothes are the easiest. And a method is you go around all the house, you just do yourself, you don't do your family members, you go all the house, you get all your clothes, you put them all in a big pile on your bed or wherever, and you see how many you really have. And then you realize, actually, I've got 10 shirts, but 5 of them I never wear. And then all of a sudden it's easy to get. It's quite easy with clothes, very easily. And we sort of do that with clothes anyway, but probably not on quite such a grand scale where we get everything together. So that's really the key. And then she goes like, books, similar. She said like, she doesn't want to keep many books, but she says, different. She understands that Western people are a bit more like magical properties of books. And, it's shown that having more books in your house, Freakonomics showed that having more books in your house is more important than taking your kid to the library, even if you don't read the books. It has a magical.
I'm going to challenge that. Where's the challenge button?
And Alan Moore likes to talk about how books, the physical printed word, is so much more powerful than the digital word, because it's a physical object in the world. And,
I mean, one of the reasons
that's he's very interesting. He thinks that's a superior technology. I'll have to find his quotes on that. But yeah, anyway, so that, and then papers. She said you can throw out all your papers. You don't really need any of them, but you could keep a little folder.
just
you
throw
keep
them
a little
away.
folder with like your birth certificate, but all the others, like when you get your bill, you say thank you for the information and put it in the shredder. So there's a lot of things like, and it's sort of true. I've still got my filing cabinet, but you can really, it's true. You don't really need them. But it is once you're sort of learning to overcome the fear. There's a big fear attached to like, letting it go. Like, what am I going to do without it? How am I ever going to get another one? But if you look at hoarders, there's these people, they're living out on some property, like with just junk all around them. I was looking at this woman, she had a bag full of little frayed bits of string that she was convinced was going to be really useful to somebody in the apocalypse.
That's kind of a Great Depression thing.
I'm not planning for that scenario. If a little bit of string is what I need in the apocalypse.
It's some people. I've known people who've had clutter problems, and one thing that doesn't help it is if we live in a renter society and you're moving every few years from one rental place to another, every time you move, you're disorganized and you lose that train of getting rid of things. I've watched some people who've had to move a number of times and the clutter gets worse because they just don't have the energy to go through this stuff because they've gone through a move. And when you go through a move, you don't have the time to declutter.
Well, that's the perfect time. Shouldn't you have you're supposed to have a moving sale and sell all the things that you don't want to take with you. But yeah, it's like if you haven't learned to say goodbye to it, it's very hard.
Well, how many of the three of us have a storage space outside of where they live, like your home or your apartment?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Storage space.
I don't, because
we did for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had
we did
one
for a little while.
Years.
Yeah, it's pretty common. My mom I think, would qualify as a hoarder by any definition, and I only feel free to say that because I don't think she'll ever watch this. But, yeah.
Here's Mom. Yeah. Where are our moms? We should have at least 3.
I mean, she needs one of those reality shows to show up and help her, and all of us kids have been on it for years. And one of the things you said, Dale, is this idea of like, as you get older and your memory's not as sharp, that these physical objects are kind of like a stand-in for that memory, and you're afraid of losing these memories. And I think that there's part of that is true for my mom. Also, she just enjoys buying stuff. She enjoys buying stuff. So if you enjoy buying stuff, if you're better at buying stuff than you are at getting rid of it, it's just gonna, over the years, the net is gonna, yeah. She loves swap meets and any bargain. She doesn't even have to, yeah. I should put you two in touch. You can go to the swap meet, but she's in Michigan. But anything that's a good bargain, it doesn't even really have to be related to her interest. She'll go out and buy it. And so she's got stuff like, she actually has a meteor in her house because you need a meteor. She's got a meteor that's on a pallet that's hundreds of pounds, maybe even 1,000 pounds. And it's a big piece of ore. And she's not even into meteors. It was just on sale. It was on sale at like the gem show.
John was here. He was. Thanks, John. Thanks for tuning in again. Yeah.
Hey, John.
A bit, but yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
This is the hoarding episode. You should buy lots of Itsy Bitsy Spider.
It's supposed to be the health show, but it's now turned into hoarders because that's where.
Everyone hoard Chuck's books.
I worked.
Talking about hoarding. If you like large amounts of clutter, I've got scenes that are cluttered full of people doing all sorts of exciting things. There we go. Trafalgar Square. What other scenes? What scenes haven't I shown you? Let's see if I've got one that's particularly clutter related. Not really.
Chuck's hoarding characters.
We'll about the history one tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It's not Apple design.
I'll show this one. Here we go. There's the Opera Festival. But I haven't done one with all clutter, particularly in this book. It's more people. I have done some where I've done like jungle,
No, Chuck, I think you're missing something.
Yes. Don't say a dentist.
There's
always trying to get into the dentist office.
Shopping, going somewhere and going to a mall and looking for things, or going to a swap meet, or going to the dealer's room of a comic book convention. This is all playing into hunter-gathering.
Yes.
And your books, Itsy Bitsy Spider, they're these cluttered drawings. They're excellent drawings, by the way. But you're hunting.
Checked in the
you're
post.
hunting for something in them. And that's why people shop. Do you guys remember the guy who's the VP of retail for Apple? It was Ron Johnson was his name. Do you remember ever hearing that name? Okay. So Ron Johnson was the VP of Apple Retail. And then he became the CEO of J.C. Penney's. Do you remember that?
I mean, I remember J.C. Penney's, but
okay.
I see Ron Johnson wrote like a business book that I was.
When Ron Johnson took over J.C. Penney's, he eliminated all of the sales and all of the coupons because he thought that people wanted just a constant, steady, low price. He also had some other ideas of like stores within a store to vary the shopping experience.
What about a store within a store within a store? Hey,
but what he
stores love
discovered was that the people who shop at J.C. Penney's, which were typically housewives and mothers.
Oh, Anneke. Hi, Anneke. Annike's with us.
They got a thrill out of the
Anneke's
coupons and the sales. So it backfired spectacularly getting rid of the coupons and the sales.
I'll try sending you again.
So gathering is a big thing. I go to comic book conventions for dealers' rooms. That's how I met Chuck. I love going to oddball antique stores. I go over to Santa Cruz to hit the shops and check for things. Hunter-gathering's hardwired in us. And that's why a lot of us end up with a lot of clutter is we're not buying something that we need. We're buying something to make the kill. You know, we're stabbing that product and dragging it home behind us to spiritually eat.
Yes, yes. Okay, this is good stuff, Dale. Wait, I'm going to try and see if we can get Anneke on. Anneke, I just tried sending you a link in Messenger. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, Dale, this reminds me of this idea that like when we were hunter gatherers and there was a scarcity of calories, we would, if we found like a honeybee's nest, we would just, we'd eat all of it. And today, of course, we've got this access that we never had for hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, and we can't turn it off. So our bodies are like calorie rich, calorie rich, calorie rich, and that can be a problem. And you're saying it's like gather, 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 basically bring it back to the cave. Can't turn that off easily either.
Nope.
Yeah. The monkey brain will not turn off.
Nomads have to travel light, but if we can have a place that isn't moving, we have a tendency. There's something called nesting. You want to make this place your nest, your home, and I'm guilty of it with books. Right, this whole year up until this coming January, I'm going to be going through all my possessions and trying to trim down. And it's going to be hard because I'm going to run across things that I bought for projects that I never completed, and it's going to be hard to admit that it was a failure, and I'm going to have to get rid of that stuff.
I think it's like destroying the evidence. It's like, hey, that never happened. It's like, you know what Don Draper did in Mad Men a lot? He was like, that didn't happen. Move on.
Yeah.
Just take those little projects, get rid of the physical evidence that you didn't finish them, and they never happened. This never happened.
Okay, guys, we need technical help here. Anneke says it's not the links. The browser's not liking her link for some reason.
I'm in
browsers.
Chrome. Have her try Chrome.
Yeah, are you in Chrome or Safari? I think are best. I don't know if you're a Mac or a PC. But,
those have both worked for me.
She's in her car at school, so she's not her. Yeah. So she's running. Poor Anneke. She's running around being a busy mum. Anneke, we'll be here for a little while. I don't know if you can get on. That'd be great. I mean, we've been talking a little bit about health this morning. We sort of got sidetracked and started talking about hoarding and all that. But
Chuck was talking about stretches.
Yeah. Well. Yes, I don't know. Yes, I think on a phone, on a mobile device, Anneke, I'm told it works best in Safari. So I don't know if you have Safari on there somewhere. I know on my phone I generally use Chrome, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe if you get the boys home and get back, we can get you on. I'd love to have you on. Basically, Anneke is going to tell us like to do our stretches, and as a young mom who's conscientious and concerned. She recommends Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider. Isn't that right, Anneke? Well, she's sitting in her car at the school. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm trying to troubleshoot this. I'm going to see what the support is for a phone on Restream, if I can.
Yes. well, in the minute, I think if she's picking the kids up from school, she's going to be driving in a minute, and that won't work. But anyway, but then maybe she'll be home again.
Yeah, it would be cool hearing like so that was going to be about yoga, is that right? And stretches?
Yes, well, Anneke has been working as a yoga instructor. She's done many amazing things. She was originally from South Africa. She came over to England when she's a young woman. I met her through my friend. He met her, and they're now married. After a long time, but and they now have young kids, a bit younger than our kids. I think her oldest son is probably about 10 now. Yes, I think he had his 10th birthday. Yes. So, so she's doing that. And, my friend who works in marketing is a marketing consultant. And she, she's a mom, but been very busy in her yoga business and been doing things like acoustic yin yoga, where she has her friend play on the guitar and people sort of do stretches.
So I just found something on this. It says if you are streaming from your Android, use Google Chrome. So Android, Google Chrome. For iOS users, we recommend Safari. And it says at the moment, our screen sharing feature is not supported if you're streaming from a phone. So it sounds like you could get the audio, but not the screen sharing.
No, I think they're talking about screen sharing, like if you want to share a screen, like when they're sharing.
Oh, yes, right. You want to,
So I think we'll be
okay.
able to.
So that's
we'll be
fine.
able to see you. But
So depending on
if
what,
we can't see you, maybe we can hear you.
yes. So it seems like depending on what OS, your operating system you're on, Android, Google Chrome. For Apple, it's Safari. You could try that, but you probably already have.
Gina's being good, shouting out to the guests. Hi, Peter and Arturo. Thanks for checking in.
Should we take questions from guests or just keep?
Yeah, we take questions. Yeah, we'll take
blathering
health
on,
questions.
which we
None of
could.
us are medical professionals. We couldn't get any medical professionals or exercise professionals to come on the phone, but we'll give you our opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Oh, there she is.
Hey guys!
Yay!
Word.
Oh my god, that's way too close.
You're not
Put
driving,
it
are
over
you?
there. Yeah, it's quite safe. Don't worry. I'm joking.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm not
good.
driving. The kids are playing in the park, and I've got the dog that's desperate to go for a walk. And,
Oh, doggy, hello.
Hello, dog.
and poor mum is now not going to take him for a walk for a bit. Anyway.
Mhm.
Hey guys.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us,
Hey,
Anneke.
Anneke.
Well, I was just telling them a little bit about you, and well, I saw that you're not going to be doing acoustic yin anymore. Have you got something else lined up?
No. We'll be doing acoustic yin. We're just not going to be doing it at that venue where we started. Yeah.
Right, not at the Farnham Pottery, yes, which seemed like a lovely venue where you were at. But
Yeah.
So
No, we're hoping to bring it to the US. So give us a venue, give us some. I'm joking. Who knows? One day, right? One day.
yeah, well, we would love you to come over here. Yes, that would be fantastic.
Thank you very
So
much.
yeah, so how did you get into being a yoga instructor? Like, because you weren't that when I first met you, and then you sort of have evolved into that as you've grown.
Oh, bless you. How did I? Well, I started with Bikram yoga, which is 26 postures, twice in a really hot room. I don't know what Fahrenheit, but it's about 42 degrees Celsius. And yeah, it was for 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute practice, 26 postures done twice, one after the other. No downward dogs for some reason. But it's an amazing and very, very addictive practice. It was started by a guy called Bikram Chowdhury. He is not very nice. Don't know. There's a documentary.
I saw a documentary.
Yeah,
on
I
him
saw
on
the
Netflix
documentary.
recently.
Yeah,
but like a lot
yeah.
of these people, though, like he inspired a lot of people, though. Even though he himself was not a great person, he did inspire, and did do a lot to promote, what was actually, quite a more traditional form of yoga that had been around before. There's the actual school that he sort of took it from is around, and so yes,
Yeah.
that's all very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just changed some of the stuff, put it in a hot room, and said, "This is mine."
Yes,
and then he's
yes.
monopolized all of the businesses, so you can't run a Bikram yoga studio anymore without money going in to him. So it has to be, so most people are calling it hot yoga studios.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the
So in
marathon.
fact, say again.
Sorry, not marathon, like Iron Man, right? Iron
Right.
Man is trademarked to the specific place, and unless you pay for that license, you can't do it. That's why we have like the Wine Man in Northern California.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, just checking my kids are okay.
Yes. We're just glad to have you at all, Anneke. That's great.
They're in the park somewhere. I don't know. If they break a leg, then
Yeah. Some of the mum will find there'll be some mum will say this kid's broken
How old
leg.
are they? Are they young?
They are 7 and 10.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're good kids. They're boys. They love your books, Charlie, don't they?
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Anneke. Yes. Well, I don't know. Yes. Yeah. Ollie
Yeah, they
wrote me a nice
do.
review for Where's the Mermaid when that came out. Yes. So
Yeah. Whenever
yes.
Charlie comes over, I basically buy loads of his books on Amazon, and
Oh
then I
yeah.
get him to come round, and I'm like, "Do you want to do a swap? I can do a bit of yoga for you, and then you can just sign and doodle on some of these books, and they make really good presents for kids' birthday parties."
Yes, that was very nice.
So
Yes,
that's
yes,
my
yes.
little
So,
hack.
yes. Well, yes. Last time I was back in the summer, even though I was there for a while, we didn't do any yoga together. But you did like
No,
before
we
we did, and we
didn't.
talked a bit about fascia, which is like one of my sort of pet subjects.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because we're having the doctors coming on the radio, and they say, "Oh, we found a whole new organ in the body." It's the fascia. We didn't really know it was there or it's doing anything. And by the way, we think it's like all acupuncture meridians are tied to fascia. And what's good for it is stretching and bending and moving it. Really. So what
Yeah,
more can you tell us
absolutely.
about
Well, my new favorite subject is all right, boy, we're gonna go in a minute. Sorry, it's the dog's crying. I'm gonna go for a walk. My new favorite subject is the vagus nerve, actually, which is the
that? Ooh.
longest cerebral nerve in the body, and it's responsible for. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a feedback here on my audio, and it's responsible for a lot of the major functions in the body. And what I thought particularly was quite
I'll just
fascinating.
remove this
Hello,
attachment.
does he have a name?
Where do we have the vagus nerve? Is it sort of running down the back here somewhere? Where does
Well,
it go?
it runs, it exits from the brain,
From the
and then it
brain.
runs through the voice box, through the lungs, the heart, into the
Like through the
stomach.
front. Oh yes, okay.
I
So
mean, it's like it kind of runs through your major organs, basically.
yeah, okay, yeah. So it's connecting all our
Yeah.
organs. Oh, okay. Well, I've got a different one. I've got a body with the organs. Shall I get that?
Okay.
Chuck, stop stroking it.
Chuck, stroke it more.
But what
Anneke,
I find was really interesting is that 80% of the messages that the vagus nerve is, this is sensory nerve, so 80% of the messages comes from the body to the brain, and only 20% is from the brain to the body, which kind of makes sense why if you go into a yoga class,
So it's like one way. It's going more
right?
up to the brain and
Yeah,
not
it goes
back down to the body.
exactly. So most of the messages come from the body up to the brain. So if you stop it, shush. It makes sense as to why if you go into a yoga class, you can have 10 people and they can all have something different going on with them. One can be having, I don't know, sciatica, another one can have lower back pain, one can have a headache, and then the other four might have mental health issues or anxiety or depression or whatever, and they do all this exact same yoga practice, but they'll all feel better at the end because they're all getting from it what they need from it just by giving their brain the messages through their bodies, and it will adapt to whatever your need is at that very given moment, right? So
And it's very important for mental
think
well-being as well. I think doing our exercises and stretches too. It just sort of I definitely find that if I don't do it, I tend to feel more depressed.
yeah.
And it really sort of helps lift my spirits if I do some movement. Yes.
But
it's
yeah,
been
vagal toning. Everyone should look into that. Go and Google it.
what is it?
toning.
Vagus nerve and how to tone your vagus nerve.
Okay, vagus nerve toning. All right, yes. Sounds great. All right, well, yes, we'll put a link there in the comments about that.
Does that
Cool.
involve little tiny weights?
Tell me more.
If I want to tone my vagus nerve, does that involve
Right.
little tiny weights for the nerve?
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Well, I think, Anneke, the proper answer isn't it that we use our body as like the weight when we're doing sort of yoga and tai chi and things like that. We use the weight of our own body, which is pretty big weight.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to people that use the postures to get into your body, not the other way around. Like, don't try and get your body into this aesthetically pleasing posture for the sake of yoga or whatever. Use the posture to find out what the hell is wrong with you and then become the expert on your own bodies, right? Because we all live to seek help from elsewhere so that we don't take responsibility and accountability.
Yes.
Well,
Yes, I am talking to you.
Yeah, I feel like that's good advice because I do see a lot of people. There's a lot of mirrors there, and sometimes there's this idea of getting in the idealized pose.
It's
You
too
know,
much material. He's passed out.
no, it's
I-
just
feels passed out.
no, it's just there's a very interesting language thing. I don't know if we're noticing, is that we're using the your possessive for body, such as the body is something that we own, meaning that the body is separate from what we are. And I think that that's kind of a clue to why we have some of these problems, is that we consider the body to be a horse or a vehicle that we ride and use up. Um, that part of exercise when I did Tai Chi and yoga, which I had to stop because of the pandemic. You kind of remind yourself that there isn't a separation of mind and body, because how your body feels and acts really affects your mind, which is what you're talking about with the transmission of data from the vagus nerve going from your body into your brain. So I have to wonder sometimes, what controls me more? Is it my brain, or is it my stomach talking to my brain?
Oh yes, our gut bacteria biome, Anneke. Do you know anything about that? So that's a very interesting subject in science. Scientists are very interested about that right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, when I first started on my natural health journey, gut health was one of my favorite subjects or favorite things to talk about anyway. Absolutely. I mean, it's a given. I mean, I used to make kefir all the time. Now I just buy it because it's more readily available. But yeah, prebiotics, probiotics every single day in every form as much as you can. Even like apple cider vinegar, I just like put a splash in my food every so often. Even that contains prebiotics. So yeah,
That's
gut
a good
health
one.
is
And kefir and
absolutely
kimchi, my acupuncture used to recommend as sort of
kefir, kimchi, kombucha.
yeah, kombucha.
I love that stuff. I used to make my own
Yeah.
kefir I got the grains, and then it takes like 2 months to get them
Oh my
up to
God,
speed, and
don't
then
talk to me
I
about
had it for
grains.
like a year. What's that? Don't talk about grains?
Oh my God, I hate it. Like when it was going good, it was going really good. But then yeah, when it
Oh, your
decides to stop working, it's a nightmare.
your grains took a turn for the worse?
Yeah, I did water kefir because I don't do dairy milk, so
Oh,
I
okay.
was just. But then now you can get oat kefir and all sorts of other things.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I
if you've got any good grains going, just send them in the post to me. I want
You
to
know,
start.
I did, and it takes. So I was doing them with like basically raw milk, like
Right.
unpasteurized milk. So
Yep.
you have to transition them from pasteurized to raw milk over a period of time because the
That's
stuff in
right.
the raw milk will outcompete them. So it takes a
Yep.
while to get them up to speed, and then I had it going for maybe a year, and then I
Uh-huh.
think I lost interest, and I think I ate them.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing that happens, right? You lose interest after. You're like, I used to get myself into this real like routine. I'm gonna, get up at this time and every fourth day or whatever, and then yeah, and then life just takes over. Sorry, I just had to get out now to throw the ball to the dog. So excuse me while I just transition
Yeah.
No,
from
no,
Dog's
very good,
giving you
very good.
stink
That's
eye.
good. So the movement and movement about is good. Yes, I mean, I guess like a lot of us are sort of sitting in front of our computers all day.
yeah.
What are the simple things we can do? Like if we do have a sort of sedentary lifestyle. Like I've sort of learned some various sort of stretches over the years. But what would you recommend for people?
Well, I think any movement, right? Man, I always say one of my students' favorite cue in a movement is freestyle. I'm like, cat cow doesn't have to be cat cow. Cat cow can be anything. You can just like move your hips. You can twerk a little, do whatever.
Oh yeah,
You can twerk a little.
I'm gonna move my hip.
You
I'm
can
doing that.
twerk a little.
I'm doing
Twerking
that,
for
yeah.
the youth.
Chuck, if you twerk,
Twerking.
I am leaving.
Literally any movement, just stretching the arms up. And if you've got a moment to where you don't have to type or anything, just to like move yourself to a wall, lie next to the wall, and then maneuver your legs so that it's up against the wall. That's a really nice posture inversion, very quite mild inversion, but really accessible to most people. And it's just a really, I mean, we don't spend enough time upside down, and it's
Oh yes, my acupuncturist, I was having some problems. He said upside down guts. Or he
Yeah.
sent me some little poem, but like part of it was like upside down guts, and I realized, I hadn't been doing my like bending over or doing all this, and I mean immediately started feeling better.
Yeah.
Turning yourself, inverting yourself. Yes.
Yeah, it's really good for toning the vagus nerve, and it's also just very good for tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system. All that good, feel good, calming chemicals. So yeah, but go upside down. Apparently, what's his name? Tom Jones has a machine that he straps himself into that spins him upside down because he believes that an inversion a day keeps a doctor away. So,
Oh yeah.
Tom Jones, the singer.
Well, my brother-in-law Peter was doing that.
Yes.
I don't know if Peter's around, but yeah, Peter. He was on the call earlier. Peter,
Right.
I don't know. We'd like to hear your experiences with the inversion table. I think at some point he decided it was too much for him or something. I don't know. He was doing it a lot for a long time. I think a little bit of inversion table.
I think, yeah, and also I think like it's one of those where if you incorporate into yoga, you probably, you have a few, but it's kind of like spread out during the course of an hour. It's not like you just upside down for an hour.
Yes, no, yeah.
Too much blood to the brain is not a good thing.
I mean,
yes, exactly.
I don't know. There's always an element in exercise of sort of no pain, no gain. Oh, hello, Harry. Hi. Welcome. Hello.
Yes, my son. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. It's
Inversion
my
chairs
other
were
child.
popular decades ago as a treatment for bad backs.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's what are called zero gravity chairs, which put you into kind of a relaxed fetal position, and then they tilt back.
Ooh.
I love
You
those.
have that for your computer. Is there a sort of fetal position computer chair? That would be.
Well, there are. I was at Comcast years ago, and you can buy computer workstations that will put you in a fetal position, a relaxed fetal position, a zero gravity chair, and then the monitor will hang at an angle.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
The keyboard will be it's on a stand that you can adjust. There's ergonomic setups for workstations that we normally do not see. They're specialist items.
Absolutely. A friend of mine was building a station where you can just stand at this desk, and there was this thing that had different settings, and it was very simple. It's like a flat pack thing. It wasn't very big, and you just build it to your own height. And you can just stand and have your computer there at eye level, because obviously everything is like, if it's too low down and your gaze is down there, then of course you're going to pull at the back of your neck, and if it's too high up, you're going to, so it's quite a specialized, like you say, world, that world of adapting healthy movement to workstations is not impossible. It's definitely out there.
It's out there, but it's not advertised. The average person, when you go into a computer store, you think that those keyboards and trackpads and mice, those things are what you should be using, and they're the best thing for you. And in most cases, they're very, very damaging. I started using a graphics tablet with a stylus.
Right.
I've never gone back. I always buy computers with styluses and touch now. I hate keyboards and trackpads and mice. Yeah. And I'm even at the point now where I have to make sure that I have a stylus that's ergonomic, because that matters as well.
Yep, for sure.
And the older we get, and being in a computer, you're sort of like, I'm here like this, and you're sort of rather robotic movements. So you just got to really think like, oh, can I sort of do a sort of stretch like this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
take your time.
I've got to leave you guys, I'm afraid, but I've got a last step for you with regards to movement. Very, very easy ones is to get like a wobble. I don't know what they're called, wobble boards. Like they like a whoopee cushion. They're like a whoopee cushion type of thing, and you sit on it, and it's it's for kids who can't sit still, basically, and they're really good. I mean, I discovered them when obviously my kid would not sit still at the dinner table, and they're not designed to sit still, children, which this whole notion of sit still and sit for a long period of time. None of us should be doing that at all. It's not good for us at all. We should,
Yeah, exactly.
so but so this is maybe we can talk about this another time. But this is the thing, is that we are so predispositioned as to what is socially acceptable, what we're supposed to be doing, what we're trained to do, and all of this stuff, and then we literally training our bodies to be in a state of it's not meant to be. It's not in a less organic state. Certainly not very good for our health. And then the other thing is just have a couple of balls, like not balls, have a couple of tennis balls under your desk, and just or have a few. I've got a few of different levels of pressure, and some spiky ones, whatever, and then just absentmindedly grab a ball under your foot and just roll it. And
yes,
starts
Anneke showed me that. Yes, yes, you can use the tennis ball and pad on the floor and put it under your foot and do all sorts of things to roll your fascia and just sort of get in those little pressure points and all this. Yes.
Or stick a couple under your glutes, or if you're sitting against a chair, if you put it just in between your shoulder blades onto the rhomboid muscle, we carry a lot of stress there. So that's quite nice. You can do it against a wall. It's so easy. These are really easy tips. But I was just listening to a podcast talking about procrastination, and I was just saying, and the lady.
I was going to listen to that tomorrow.
Oh my God, she was amazing. But she said one of the tips that she gave was she says, get into a routine, have some rituals and routines and habits, because otherwise it's not going to get done, right? So that's the thing. And set a timer for everything, So even if you go, I'm only going to do 5 minutes of rolling on a ball or whatever, then there's a start and then there's an end point. So, but hey, discipline, eh?
Yes. Anything is better than nothing, right? Yes, exactly. But a good amount of it, can really make a difference in your life. Oh, Anneke, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, Anneke.
That's great.
You're so welcome. Nice to meet you guys.
Pleasure to meet
too.
you.
Yeah, take care. I don't know. We're doing this for the length of the Kickstarter. If it goes on longer, we would definitely love to have you back.
I think it would be so good to do this again. So I'd love to.
All right, great.
All right, guys.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Anneke.
Man down. I've got to go. See you later.
Well, it looks lovely over there. Lovely England.
Hey, unfortunately, Chuck, I also have to go, so it's going to be.
Yes, you have your band practice.
All
right, well, we're having a short show today. Yeah, I think we'll call it quits, and we'll be back tomorrow with a later show at 4 p.m. with Adam Prosser, my pupil co-writer. So that will be good. So I don't know. Cool. Dale will be here for that, and I'm trying to get my pupil fans come and check that one out. And then Thursday we've got Fake History with Andrew. So Chris, I hope you'll definitely be here for that. Dale, that's up to you. If you want to be on Fake History, it should be a good call.
Oh, I'm all into conspiracy theories. I'm totally into conspiracy theories.
Well, his are more historically proven conspiracy theories. He's not writing. He's writing about 10 well-established big lies that have been told in history.
But the Queen's a lizard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we just want to start off with that truth.
That's old news.
Well, they're technically called reptilians.
The Queen's a reptilian. I saw the video. She's clearly got another set of eyelids, so I think that's pretty much settled. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go, you guys. I will see you not tomorrow, I don't think, but Thursday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'll see you Thursday unless you want to come to tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's up to you. But that's going to be more a comic show, talking about my web comic and all that. So I don't know, but you're welcome. You're welcome if you're around, but otherwise take a well-earned break.
All right, I'm going to turn myself off. Bye, Dale. Bye, Chuck.
Bye.
Bye, Chris. Yes. All right, Dale. Well, I think I'll get on with some work today. I got to do some maps for Goodman Games. It's very fun, and and I'll see you tomorrow then at 4 p.m. Sound good?
Yep, I'll try to be there.
All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna play the theme music now, and thank you especially to Anneke. So glad you could make it. That was very fun talking to you, and don't forget everybody. Where's Itsy Bitsy Spider on Kickstarter now? We need your backing. And we'll be here every weekday for the next couple of weeks. Bye.
I'm just going up this water spout, y'all. Y'all, hope it don't
The
rain.
itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again.
I'm just going up this water spout, y'all. Hope it don't rain. I'm an itsy bitsy spider. I'm also a good hider. Y'all ain't gonna find me.
The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again.
Going up this,
Up the spout again.
going up this.
Up the spout again.